What's up, Wallander, precious? Young Wallander follow recently graduated police officer Kurt Wallander as he investigates his first case. So before you shout at me, I have to be honest, I had no idea what Wallander was, so I had to do some research, and I was amazed at the amount of content. There's like a con and a tank. Content there was with Wallander. So there's novels that was made into films. I believe all 9 novels were made into films, and then it was a TV series, and then there was Kenneth Branagh, who did a BBC series, and thankfully there's been a production studio that has been involved with the making of all of this content. For the most part, although it has exchanged hands quite a lot. There's so much content, there's so much for the die-hard fans to be involved with. So if you're coming into this and you're a die-hard fan, I can imagine you'd be quite nervous about watching this series, this new Netflix series. But thankfully, this has continued to, the production company has still been involved in the making of this. Netflix just bought the right to make it an exclusive miniseries, and this takes the character in a place it hasn't been before. So it makes it modern, but it also makes him young. And so we have this rookie Swedish police officer, I believe. So Kurt is played by Adam Pålsson, and he has such a strange voice. It almost feels like you won't like his voice when you're listening to him because it's soft. It's soft and hard at the same time. It's weird that I'm starting a review talking about his voice, but it's one of the things that really stood out to me. With this character that seems really intelligent. I love the intelligence behind this character's eyes, but with the soft characteristics, but he's tough as nails. You know, this guy in this series, we've had 6 episodes, and he just keeps getting beaten, shot, stabbed, you name it, stuff happens to him in this series, and he keeps getting up like he's an Indiana Jones character and just shakes it off. It's a flesh wound, and I really like that character. I really like what they've done with the Wallander character. From what I know, it's similar traits, but he's young, and so he's really coming into his own. He's kind of stepping into the shoes of a Sherlock Holmes character almost. He seems to have really great intelligence, but he's not superhuman. He's not quite Sherlock Holmes intelligence, but he does seem to figure out. He's a really likable character. But this young Wallander series is very interesting to me because it's a puzzle piece. So it is a drama, and it is a thriller, and it is action, it is tense, but it's a puzzle piece. So you go along this journey with young Wallander, with Kurt, and you figure out what's happening, and you can't quite figure it out until the end. So it reveals certain puzzle pieces. It starts coming together like a jigsaw, but you're really not going to know what happens or what's really happened until the end. And so you have all these political ideas, these threads of storylines. Of like one bit of story reveals another bit of story, and as Wallander or as Kurt figures it out, you figure it out. So it never reveals more than what Kurt is figuring out, which I love because you're always trying to guess what's happening. But I have to say, one of the other great things about the series is the way it looks. The cinematography is so atmospheric. The tones, the color palette is all lends itself to puzzle making. It's a Seven vibe. It's a detective police story. It all lends itself to the correct atmosphere of what I would think would be a TV police series, but it also is very cinematic, and so it elevates the standard TV police drama into something that you could possibly see at the cinema. It has a grand scope of things, yet is always quite personal with the characters, and that's where this series really kind of delves deep into. It's always about those characters. So as Wallander starts developing relationships, you start figuring out what's happening behind the scenes as he starts getting into these relationships of where he lives and those in his police forces and his best friend. He also comes across that he is a little bit he might have special needs of some sort, because sometimes he has like this vacant look, there's stuff going on in his mind, in his eyes, but he just doesn't relate to humans with emotions like I guess the vast majority of people would. And so that's very Sherlock Holmes as well. I have a son who is autistic, and there is very similar traits in that way. I feel like that is a character trait that he has, and it's just like another little another little arrow in his quiver that makes up the character of Wallander. He definitely carries it. There are other protagonists in this that I thought were interesting, but for the most part, you're always kind of wondering how he's going to react, what's going to happen to him, how he's going to get out of the situation. And so it's an adventure puzzle piece story that's very good. It also doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just 6 episodes long. It has great score, great cinematography, great acting, and then the story is what drives it correctly, and you're trying to guess what happens. As a non-fan of Wallander, as like I said, I had to research for this, I was thoroughly impressed with this. This is one of my most anticipated season 2s. Like, I want more from these characters. I kind of want to go back and watch the other films and the series, although I kind of don't want to because I have this iteration in my mind now. But I'd be very interested to know if you are a fan of the Wallander character. Are you excited to watch this? Are you nervous when you do watch it? What did you think? I'd love to know that. Which has been your favorite Wallander novel or series or movie so far? Yeah, I'd be very interested to know what you guys think of the comparison and bringing it like this. Are you upset with it? For me, someone on the outside of all of that, I thought this was excellent. From a creative perspective, from acting, all of that, very good series. Very, definitely one to watch. Put it on your watch list. I am going to give this an A. Thanks so much for watching this. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Are you excited to watch it? But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.